Operation Turquoise swung into action today. French troops headed for Rwanda to intervene in the atrocities that have made that country's name synonymous with horror. 2 million people have now fled the mayhem. Jane Frankie is just back from the Rwandan border, where she met a Scot deeply committed to easing the terrible hardship.
Can there be anything more sickening than the pictures we've seen of the horrors in Rwanda? Since the day the president was killed in a suspicious air crash, the rival tribes, Hutus and Tutsis, have tried to annihilate each other in their bids for power. Thousands have been hacked to death with machetes, their mutilated bodies thrown into rivers to be swept into Lake Victoria. Aid agencies estimate that 500,000 have been killed. Tanzania, which shares a long border with Rwanda, has borne the brunt of the biggest and fastest refugee exodus the world has ever seen. And it was a Paisley-born nurse, the most senior Red Cross delegate in Africa, who found that the crisis had landed virtually on her doorstep. We spent 4 days with Sheila Wilson. She was adamant. "Don't make me out to be a saint or hero," she said. "I'm just doing my job." You must judge for yourself. It is, by any standards, an extraordinary job.
Oh dear, this child is on the way out. This is the nurse? Okay, where's the referral form? So what we want to do is stop this right now. Look. You see? This is exactly the time they said it happens. I want them to tell these men now that they will get diarrhea, they will have very big problems if they go in that water. Now, what about the clinic? What's happening with the dispensary? So very good. You've got enough supplies from us. There's enough drugs.
She's a black woman and she's not a white woman.
Sheila Power.
Sheila Power.
Yeah, Sheila Power and then supervising.
The border. Just over the river, the manic murder and massacre of Rwanda. It was across this bridge that 250,000 people fled on one Thursday in April.
Ngara, Sheila.
At the time, Sheila Wilson was a few miles from the border, head of a handful of Red Cross workers dealing with refugees from Burundi.
I got a radio call saying, "Oh, Sheila, there's a lot of people coming across the bridge." And I said, "Oh, okay," because we had been having several hundred coming across. And then they said to me, no, it's thousands. It seems to be thousands. So there was a sense, not a sense of panic, but a sense of people being overwhelmed by the numbers coming across. And that was true. There was kilometers of road filled with people just walking, and walking at quite a heavy pace.
Fate, chance, luck, call it what you will. What nobody can call is what would have happened to this instant city population if Sheila and her team hadn't been here.
Well, I don't think any of us panicked. I was here with the Tanzania Red Cross team because we had been working with the Burundi emergency. And it was more a case of, oh gosh, let's get started. We knew that we had to find a place to get the people settled in with water. That was the priority. And then just get things going.
Sheila does have a certain knack of the understatement. Get things going in the middle of nowhere in Central Africa? They call it Benaco, its name taken from the crane of an Italian construction company building a road nearby, the biggest refugee camp in the world. If you were told to imagine this, you couldn't. Even being here, it's difficult to grasp. Try this. 3 months ago, this was an empty field. On one day in April, a population equivalent in size to Aberdeen's moved in. It now houses more than 330,000. That's over half the population of Glasgow. It's acquiring a permanence. Inside the camp, they tell you that they'll go home when there's peace in Rwanda. But from those still fleeing, the news from Rwanda is a catalogue of horror.
Bamukiye bamujyanye babajyanye mu nzu nimwo babasize mubabiki mu nzu when her father has running when they're starting to run and shooting and bulleting, and mother when they're running to go in house and they're killing on the house, and this young one was seen when mother's killed.
16 years old, witness of the murder of his mother, now the head of a family of 4 brothers. There surely are no words of comfort.
It's not easy. Yes, I cry a lot. I don't involve myself too much in the nitty-gritty stories of each refugee and so on. Otherwise, we'd be heartbroken all day long because there are some terrible stories, and I don't close my eyes to that. I know that people are here for political reasons, and that's very sad. But I try not to get too involved in the details.
Most days, Sheila Wilson must be hard put to find time to cry.
So we want her out on the Monday?
5:30 a.m. at the Red Cross base. Supplies have to be ordered, instructions given. 7 o'clock and she's on the road. We're an hour and a half from Benaco, but such is the scale of the Rwandan exodus, they're crossing the border in so many places, that refugees have set up a camp here. They too are Sheila's responsibility.
Yesterday I was here, I came here yesterday, but I was people, it's 4 lines from the dispensary up to there. 4 lines.
Did they need another medical assistant here?
Sure, I will. I have no problem with that. Over.
Okay, Hans, all the best over now.
Have a good day. Hans out.
A good day. Like most others, it's going to be a demanding one. First call, Benaco's reception centre.
People are told, right from the walking points or the trucking points, that this is the official reception centre, and they must come here to be registered. All the newcomers have got what we call a token, a wee card from UNHCR.
At least 3,000 people, men, women, orphaned children, turn up here every day. Many of them arrive exhausted after walking for days. Some of them are ill.
There's a health team standing there to screen out what's going on in terms of health problems. We're trying to look for major things only. We can't have too many criteria to be looking for.
So what sort of things will you be looking for?
We're looking for any evidence of bloody diarrhea, meningitis, measles, any contagious disease, or any emergency case, like a first aid case, if somebody's really sick or somebody obviously needs immediate referral.
A reception token brings maize, beans, soya, cooking oil, and 1 blanket per person, 2 for a family. From then, Benaco becomes home. For all its despair, it is at least a place where the machete is used in peace. Not for the horrors they have left behind. For Sheila, though, the day's problems are only beginning. Teams digging new latrines have hit rock.
Right, I was on the sanitation site.
Oh, yes, over here, the new one.
The new site.
How is it?
It's a problem.
Okay.
Very rocky. With each month.
So we'll come over there later.
Yeah,
We might
discuss
maybe have a
about
look
it.
at that, discuss it, and see if we can find some new signs.
Yeah.
It'll have to be dealt with, but first the new district commissioner pays his first visit to Benaco.
But we have selected 300 refugee health workers so that they could go out and look after approximately 1,000 people per health worker. And each day they go with a different health message to the people. That's the concept, that's the idea. So in there we train
This
them.
contact with local people and officials is vital. It is, after all, Tanzania which has accepted, apparently without demur, this massive influx of refugees. 10:30, the dispensary, one of several around the camp. It was a routine check, which changed suddenly.
Shelves are in?
Yes. It's locked now, but we have enough drugs, and we are getting some drugs from other NGOs trying to assist us. And as you can see, everybody has a good number.
He's in a terrible way. What happened? You take care of he has to be referred right away, yeah? Okay, where do they usually examine?
In the pediatric ward.
Okay, let's go.
In the pediatric ward.
Come. Come on. Ali. Could they examine the child quickly and tell me what they're going to do? Okay? I recommend that you keep him in now and watch him carefully because they might need intravenous even just for some hours.
This injection, okay. Please, it's an emergency case, eh?
Be careful, huh?
There are countless victims of a war being waged less than 10 miles away. They've tended many of them at the Red Cross Hospital at Benaco. And have brought many more into a world of atrocities.
And where's the mother?
Mama is what they call Sheila around here. They've even named a ward after the woman whose organization made it possible.
Good word. Huh?
Sheila, she's trying her level best now to put in everything under control. And I think now I can say everything is under control for the Sheila power.
Sheila power.
Yeah, Sheila power and supervising. Yeah.
She has so much energy because she never seems to sleep or eat.
Well, actually, I think sometimes she forgets when she's eating or not. Sometimes she forgets. You need somebody to push in and say, please, Sheila, come down and have a coffee. And several times mine, I do that. That's why I'm calling Sheila, she's my mother.
There are smiles and laughter in the camp too. It's become a city. Businesses and markets have sprung up. The sun is scorching at the food distribution centre. The indefatigable Sheila shows no signs of flagging. 3 aid agencies distribute food. The Red Cross is responsible for feeding a third of the camp, more than 100,000 hungry mouths.
Okay, so then what we can do, I think, probably is most of this food will be used today. Then what we could do is clear this out, clean it out, get the pallets in place, because now we've got time to do that.
The commune system Rwandese lived in at home operates here too. Food collection is run by the commune chiefs. There are few signs of malnutrition. He'd walked and walked, queued for ages. Near the top of the hill, he spilt that most precious cargo, water. Benaco's most vital commodity, Without it, the camp would die. It isn't clean enough to drink, but the Red Cross have fixed that. It's pumped through a purification plant and piped up the hill to standpipes. Literally, water of life. On the last 2 evenings, it has been threatened. Impatience at standpipes has driven people to the lake itself.
What we want to do is stop this right now. Look. You see? This is exactly the time they said it happens. I want them to tell these men now. Hey, stop them. Stop them right now. Tell the men that they are here for the point is they are not here to beat the people. They're here to explain to the people that they will get diarrhea. They will have very big problems if they go in that water. Very big problems. They must wait.
Wasiwapige watoto, lakini inabidi wasukume waeleze kwamba wasiingie humu ndani. Wakiingia mle watachafua maji, wataharisha, watapata madhara. Kwa hiyo wawe wanawaongoza, wanarudisha.
But they must start now because I can see it's going to be a problem.
Wasiingie, maji yao yako kule, yote
yako kule kwa juu kule.
This is bringing attention, so we just stop. He tells the men and they start immediately. The tool they can use is a small stick like that. That's no problem.
For the first time in her already 12-hour day, Sheila shows anger, surely as essential a characteristic as is her friendly cajoling.
She's a very intelligent lady. She's very intelligent. Maybe she's born intelligent, I mean. To work with all of us, they have different characters, but she can just know our problems, she can know our weakness, and she's a very good leader. She's not that Muzungu, I think. I feel it.
Muzungu?
She's a black woman, and she's not a white woman.
What drives you?
You know, you get tremendous job satisfaction from it. I mean, so I have a personal interest in this, because when I go out there and you see something that has to be done and you have to give food to 250,000 people and you have to make sure that healthcare is set up or whatever it is, it's very satisfying. So that in itself drives me, because I know that, oh gosh, today was a good day.
Do you get at all a feeling of pride when you go through that camp?
Oh, sure, now. Absolutely. I mean, for the first 2 weeks I wasn't sleeping because I was so worried in case something would happen, because we felt like we were putting the systems in place and we felt like it was coming under control, but you could never say that. And I still can't. I mean, when you go out and you walk in and see how overcrowded these people are, all these little huts, one on top of each other, it's still a hazard. I mean, there's a chance, and I've been saying this since the first week, that we can wake up tomorrow and thousands of people have died from an outbreak of something.
Every morning, more and more join the lines trudging up and down the hill to the vital clean water supply. Behind them, the pall of smoke which hovers permanently over the camp. That smoke pall grows every day too, as what has become Tanzania's second largest city keeps on expanding.
And presumably will go on doing so while the horrors continue on the other side of those Rwandan mountains. On this side of the border, the rival Hutu and Tutsi tribes do not fight, but they do live separately.
Okay, what we need to know is how many people of the people here are wanting to go back. It's not our business, huh? They can go, they can come, they can stay. We just need numbers for planning.
It's nearly dark when Sheila visits the Tutsi camp. There are 90 orphans here.
I'm a Red Cross worker, have been for years, will continue to be so, I hope so. But it just so happens that I was here on the spot at the time of this particular emergency, but I certainly don't see myself as a saint or a hero or whatever. We're just doing the work.
Sheila Wilson. As ever, that knack of the understatement.